Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of FTOPS 8 Final Table Highlights. I'm Ali Najad and we're going to take a look at another No Limit Hold'em 6 Max event. This time it's event number 17, hosted by Marcus Golser. It's the $200 buy-in shootout format. 1,294 players brought the prize pool to over $250,000. First place would walk away with over 45 grand. Looking at the chip counts, each player, of course, in a shootout starts with the same stack. It's 648,000 apiece. Each of these guys have already won 3 tables. So it was the 4th go-round for each of our 6 final table lists. Blinds at 8 and 16,000 with a 2K ante. Action was on E-Dub. He would make it 40,500 to go from under the gun. Folded around to RT Cost. He had over $750,000 in his stack and would make it 130,000 to go. Both blinds laid down, and it was back over to E-Dub. He went into the tank and moved it all in. RT would make the call and show pocket tens. E-Dub showed ace-king offsuit, and he'd need to hit to stay alive, and hit he did, making aces on the flop.
But then disaster on the river as the 10 ball showed up, and E-Dub was felted in 6th place, earning $6,200.
Blinds were up to 10 and 20,000 with the $2,500 ante. RT was the chip leader with over $1.28 million. Bot of all bots would ship it all in. Just shy of 3 times the big blind. Captain Clonk would make the call. All others folded, and it was King Jack off against Queen Jack. Bot was in bad shape on the flop in the turn, and the 3-outer would not come on the river as a nice pot sent over to Captain Clonk and a good buy sent over to Bot. He would walk with 9,000 and change. 4 players remained. Captain Clonk and RT were neck and neck for the chip lead. Clonk would lay it down. RT would as well. And it was over to Poker for Me 1, 2, 3 in the small blind. He shipped it all in and had OU Sooners covered. OU called with King 4 suited. He took a look at 6, 7 offsuit. Flop and the turn were decent, and Poker for Me could not hit the 6-outer to send OU home, as Sooners would double up. The blinds were relentless. They were up again to 15 and 30,000. Button was on Captain Clonk this hand. Sooners laid down, as did Clonk. Over to RT, who had Poker well covered. He made it 80,000 to go, 2.5 times the big blind. Poker would call, and the flop came deuce, Queen Jack with a couple of diamonds. Action was on RT, and he would check, giving up control of the pot. Poker would then bet out 90,000. Action was back over to RT. And he would put Poker all in with a check raise. Poker made the call and showed an open-ended straight draw up against middle pair.
By the time the turn hit, Poker was down to a 9, king, or an ace to stay alive. He would brick off on the river and be sent home in 4th place, earning $13,000.
Down to half the original field of 6. OU Sooners was the short stack on the button. He raised it to 70,000. Captain Clonk would then ship all in for 700 and change. Chip leader was all too happy to let the short stacks go at it. Pocket jacks against ace-8 suited. Clonk turned 8s but couldn't trip up or hit 2 pair on the end, and OU would double up to over 1 million while Clonk was left crippled. Captain Clonk was in rough shape with under 180,000 in front of him. He would ship it all in. Chip leader out of the way in the small blind, and Sooners called with pocket 9s and hit a monster flop, 9s full of jacks. Clonk's open-ender was irrelevant, and on the turn, he was drawing dead. Sooners finished the job he started a hand ago as Clonk said goodbye in 3rd place, earning almost $19,000. Down to just 2 players, blinds were up to 20 and 40,000 with a 5K ante. OU Sooners had the chip lead as we pick up the action. He made it 100,000 to go. RT called. Flop came Jack Deuce 5 Rainbow, and RT checked. Sooners checked behind, and the turn brought the 3 of spades. RT would think a moment before betting out $160,000 into the $210,000 pot. Sooners made the call and the river paired the deuce. Over $500,000 in the pot. RT would ship out more than a pot-sized bet, moving all in. OU would think for a bit before taking a shot at eliminating RT.
It wasn't going to happen, however, as RT showed jacks up and doubled through to even the match.
Again, the blinds went up as we moved to the $30,000 and $60,000 round with a $7,500 ante. RT made it $150 to go on the button. Sooners had a big chip lead and could afford to gamble with him if he wanted to. And that's exactly what he did with ace-4 suited. He was in a world of hurt, though, against ace-king off until the flop hit. Sooners had out-flopped RT. On the turn, a 4 straight hit the board. RT could split it with a 3 or win it with a king. The jack of clubs, however, wouldn't cut it as RT was all done in second place, and our victor was OU Sooners. Let's take a look back at the payouts. OU would earn over $45,000 for his efforts, and RT would take home $28,468.
We hope you've enjoyed all of our FTOPS 8 final table highlights. If you missed any of the action from this year, don't forget FTOPS 9 is right around the corner in a few short months. It's been my pleasure bringing you final table highlights this year. We hope you've enjoyed every minute of it, as I know I have. For Full Tilt Poker, this is Ali Najad saying so long.